welcome to Scrunchy with Kate, and I am back for another video today. Today's video is a little bit different. We're discussing my blood test results from a couple weeks ago after following the medical medium protocols for about 6 months now. And I am in a journey to heal a bunch of mystery symptoms. I have had headaches every day that lasted for at least 6 months that I have hopefully gotten better. Ironically enough, tonight I have one out of nowhere. But I have seen a lot of improvements. I also am healing a lot of things that are unexplained with all the doctors I have seen over the last, 6 months to a year at this point. So let's sit down and get cozy. I got myself a cup of tea. This is roasted dandelion root tea. This is really good for liver support, which I will get into why I need that soon. And it's good just for cleansing. So this you can get in a tincture. Tincture? Is that how you say that? I don't know. You can get it in the liquid drops, and you can get it in a tea form. I just prefer the tea. Grab yourself something to drink, sit down, relax, or put this on in the background while you're cleaning or hanging out with your kids, whatever you prefer to do. But this one's going to be a chatty one. So let's start a little bit from the beginning. I had my son about a year ago now, and that pregnancy kind of stirred up a bunch of issues with my body. Now I know too, there were things going on prior to pregnancy. I had the big C. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here, but the big C going around. It was January of 2020 that I had it the first time, and I've had an issue with my ear ever since, and I can't really eat anything. I can't eat any sort of grains, no gluten-free wheat, no gluten-free oats, not wheat. No rice, no grains of any kind without flaring. It's just this pressure buildup that nobody can really explain. But when I had the big C the first time, it almost felt like I had an ear infection, but nobody could ever find an ear infection. I have been to ENTs, I've been to the chiropractor, I've been everywhere at this point, and nobody has ever seen an infection. And I get checked every once in a while randomly from my chiropractor or when I go to the doctor, and nobody ever sees an infection. So it's the start of mystery symptoms. That was number one. And then I got pregnant with my son, and things were fine for most of my pregnancy until my third trimester. And in my third trimester, I started having like floaters in my vision, which I still have today. It's kind of a sign of preeclampsia too, which I had with my first pregnancy. So it did have me starting to worry when that showed up. Now floaters can be a sign of aging, but this is not, according to my eye doctor. This is inflammation, according to her, and there's not much known about it. But basically what floaters are is you see like black spots in your vision, and they're super annoying. So if you have any, I really feel for you, because it is very distracting sometimes to walk outside, and they've gotten slowly better. But that was one symptom. I had pregnancy gingivitis, which my oral health declined rapidly with this pregnancy. So I have had multiple cavities pop up. I have one tooth that's giving me jaw pain that, again, nobody can find anything wrong with. Again, gone to multiple dentists and doctors, and there's just, nobody seems to know. Nobody seems to understand or know anything. So that was the other one. I'm trying to even remember at this point, but oh yeah, I had multiple yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis. I could not get rid of a yeast infection during my pregnancy. The only thing that ended up working was boric acid. So I actually think I have that in here. I'm filming tonight in my bathroom because I tried all day to film with my kids and I just couldn't. So this is the best lighting I can find in my house, this late at night. But this is what ended up working for me. It's called PhD. Funny, right? They're vaginal suppositories, and it's boric acid. You put one in like for, I believe I did 3 days in a row, and then you do one weekly as like maintenance. So that was the only thing that worked for me during pregnancy. Now, I was, I believe, 4 months postpartum when I found medical medium information. I kind of was just searching and just searching. I had a headache every day for at least 6 months at that point. I had been to a neurologist, and all they wanted to do was give me medication, which I would have had to stop breastfeeding to be on strong medication, which I didn't want to be on anyway. They suggested 2 different kinds of MRIs, which were expensive, and quite honestly, the doctor even said that there's 99% chance that they're not going to find anything. So I never followed through with getting an MRI. I just intuitively didn't feel like it was the right choice. So I searched and searched and found something about celery juice somewhere along the lines. And I started. Just one day, I was like, all right, let's just try it. I was at my last resort. You know, I was so tired of feeling exhausted and having like this lingering headache, and nothing would take the edge off of it, like no ibuprofen or anything. I would just have it every day, and with a newborn and a toddler running around, it was so hard. So celery juice, I brought that in about 4 months postpartum. I'm now 10 months postpartum. And it helped so much with my headaches, like night and day difference. It helped immediately with my gum health. So my oral health, it immediately helped with that. You know, it wasn't a miracle by any means, and I'm still dealing with oral health issues, but it has, like, within that first week, I noticed a huge difference. So I could tell immediately that it was working. I didn't know much about medical medium or his protocols, but I started dabbling and watching him on Instagram, and like watching some of his live videos, and just trying to get educated on his philosophies. And a lot of it was the exact opposite of what I had learned. I was told my entire pregnancy to push protein. Like, I was told to do the brewer diet. Protein was like, I had to get over 100 grams of protein every single day, and eggs. I ate so many eggs, and now I know that eggs definitely could have contributed to the problem. Because medical medium says that eggs are one of the worst offenders for stirring up and feeding viruses. So all this to say, I went really hard into my diet around 4 months postpartum. I cut out eggs. I already was gluten and dairy free, but I cut out soy and corn and pork. I can't even remember what else, but the top offenders, vinegar. He says vinegar is terrible for your oral health, so that's another one that I just completely cut. It's a huge adjustment, and I still really crave things, and I so wish I could eat gluten-free oats, but I can't because I get fluid behind my ears, and it's just never ending. It's never ending. It flares me. So all of this, again, to say that I put in a lot of work, and I was kind of excited to see where I was at when I went in for my wellness visit this month. Almost like going in and getting a report card. I talked to my doctor again about my symptoms, and unfortunately, because I'm breastfeeding, there's only so much we can do. There's just only so many things you can try, and a lot of avenues will be open once I stop breastfeeding. But until then, I am limited to a lot of options right now. There is a plan that's going to be in place for when I quit breastfeeding, but that's a whole other nutshell in itself, because my son will be 1 year very soon, and I feel the pressure to end our nursing journey. And I know for my health, my mental and physical health, it is extremely important for me to end our nursing journey at 1 year. And it's sad because it feels like it's not fully my choice. It just feels like my body is almost, I guess, breaking down, or my body is telling me enough is enough and you need to focus on you. So while my supply is fine, I think my body needs every nutrient possible. And I've spent 3 to 4 years now giving all my nutrients to my kids, and my body needs a break. So with that said, let's jump into some of these results. I will start with cholesterol. She just ran your pretty much standard panel for a wellness visit. I think there's a few things on here that maybe your Joe Schmo doctor down the street wouldn't run. She goes heavily into thyroid, but it is just like your basic typical panel for when you go. Right now, first up is cholesterol. I actually had low cholesterol, which means I need to increase like avocado and fish and stuff like that, which makes sense because I don't really eat a lot of that. So my cholesterol was slightly low, but not anything to be too concerned about. And just the normal things, my calcium and all that, my protein, everything was in range. I'm just looking at the sheet right here. Everything was pretty much in range until we got to my liver, and my liver function is high or low. I don't know how to describe this correctly, but my liver is very sluggish, I guess would be the way to describe it, but my numbers are very high, meaning like it's working really hard, was how she described it to me. Now, again, I had the big C, the second time in August, and I noticed a huge step back in my recovery from my symptoms. I'm actually very curious. I have to go back to the eye doctor this week or next week. When I went a couple months ago, the inflammation was gone, but I can feel it back. And I'm very interested to see on the imaging again that I will feel if the inflammation will show up on the imaging that they do now that I'm a few months post the big C again. The healing journey has been described to me as 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and it really feels that way because it's like I was making such good progress. I could tell that my health was improving, and then we got sick, and I just felt like everything got stirred up in my body again. And I don't know what it does. There's 1.5 million theories out there, but for me and my body, it stirs up things, viruses that are dormant or whatever in my body. And it's hard. It's hard to see the progress and then feel like you just took so many steps backwards. So my liver is very out of range. I will be retested again in a couple weeks, but basically the plan is for me to do some liver detoxing after I'm finished breastfeeding, and something called ELT therapy for your lymphatic system. I don't know enough about it to really go too far into detail, but it is something to drain your lymphatic system and to get it moving so that you can get the toxins out of your body. I am 100% positive I have a lot of toxins built up in my body. Number one, I used to drink way too much in my 20s. I have been sober now for about 4 years, and I'm very proud of that, but you know, your body takes a long time to recover. And I was also a hairdresser and was in the salon and spa industry for a really long time, like at least 10 years. And just the exposure to that, I can only imagine what is inside of my organs and my liver and everything else that's just hiding out in there. So I've been exposed to a lot. You know, my hands were in a shampoo sink with hair color all over them for who knows how long. And my liver is working really hard. So I'm hoping after a deep liver cleanse that some of these symptoms will disappear. I'm especially hoping for the floaters to disappear. But we'll see, you know, we will see. And I will say Medical Medium says it's totally fine to do his cleanses because they're nice and gentle when you are breastfeeding, but I haven't been able to pull the trigger on that. And maybe one day I will, but as of right now, I am so close to the finish line of nursing that I just will probably wait at this point to really go in there and do some deep healing. My thyroid came back totally fine. This is just a tip. Ask your provider to do the T3 and T4 along with the normal thyroid panel. That is something, I guess, that can show more. I don't know a lot about it, but it can show more, I guess, to them about what your thyroid is doing. So just a little quick tip. My magnesium was good, and what's funny is I am really not supplementing right now. The only thing I consistently take is vitamin C, and every once in a while I will take a little bit of B12. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of zinc. Sometimes I'll take, what is the other one I take? Maybe vitamin D. I don't remember, but there's like a few that like sometimes I rotate through. So most of what is going on, my levels have not been this good in my blood work in years, minus my liver. My liver has gone way haywire right now. But everything else is really good. And it's all from whole, natural foods. From raw fruit. I eat a very fruit-heavy diet. And my vitamin D was even in range. I mean, that doesn't even happen anymore. My B12 was in range. Like, my iron was great. And I can tell you right now, it's not because I'm eating a bunch of red meat. I wake up and I have celery juice and a fruit smoothie and whole fruit, like, pretty much until noon. And then at noon is when I get into, like, some meat and vegetables and potatoes. So taking the protein away helped. I can absolutely say that. Taking huge amounts of eggs out of my diet absolutely helped. I do, like I said, I do need a little bit more fat in my diet according to my cholesterol numbers, but I can honestly say that just eating extremely clean, like I don't cheat whatsoever. There is no, you know, random, I don't even know where we would go. McDonald's. Oh God, it has been so long. I would, no, there is no cheating. Like I pretty much bring my food, or, you know, it's a commitment. It's a huge commitment, but I have such a desire to feel better. And I feel so much better when I eat this way that I really can't stop. Ideally, I would love to get some grains back in my diet, but slow and steady wins the race. And I'm hoping that after I cleanse, fingers crossed, that I will get there. But that is pretty much it. I don't think there's really anything to touch on. Like, I was not fasting. They did a diabetes test. It was still in range. Because I'm breastfeeding, I don't fast for that, but even my sugar levels are fine. But bring in those whole foods, bring in lots of fruit. Don't be afraid of fruit. I understand that, like, my midwife when I was pregnant was asking all about my fruit and, you know, to keep it low, to keep my sugars low, but sugar that comes from fruit, not from candy or, you know, cookies, crackers, anything like that, is completely different. You can take an apple and you're getting so many more nutrients out of that versus a candy bar. There's nothing in a candy bar. It's pure sugar and processed crap. So please eat the apple. Apples are cleansing to your body. They'll help you take the toxins out. They'll help regulate your sugar eventually if you keep eating all those nice fruits. So I've learned a lot in this journey, and there's still so much more to get through. And one day I really do think that I'll feel 100% better. But until then, I'm still operating probably at, if I had to guess, 65% of where I think I could be. And part of that is the fact that I have 2 crazy kids. But one day, I know it'll get better. And I know if I just keep continuing this journey that God's going to come in and he's going to show me that it was all worth it. I really, truly believe that. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate this. I'm so sorry it was such a late night video tonight. I just really wanted to get this one done, and I've been putting it off for so long now because there just hasn't been time to do it. But if you're experiencing any symptoms after the big C, or if you're just experiencing symptoms and you've been to the doctor and this doctor and that doctor and this chiropractor and this, you know, whoever, acupuncturist or whoever you see, massage therapist, and nobody gives you an answer, please, number 1, fight for yourself. Ask for more testing. And number 2, go look up his information, see if it's something that you align with, and see if it's something that can help. They're huge adjustments in your standard lifestyle, but it's worth it to feel better. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will keep you updated on all the things going forward. I am so excited that you are here on this journey with me, and let me know in the comments below what you think, if there's anything else you want to learn, if you want to know, and head over to Instagram and follow me. It's Living Scrunchy with Kate. I will again leave that below. Thank you guys. Have a great night.